everyone, I hope you're all having a great day. So today I'm going to be filming a what's on my iPhone, and I haven't filmed one of these videos in honestly about a year, so I thought today I would just sit down and update you on all of the apps that I've been loving, because there are a lot of things I've been really enjoying on my phone lately, so I thought why not share them with you guys. And I actually do still have the same phone as when I filmed my last what's on my iPhone video, so I have the iPhone 10, also known as the iPhone X, and I really like it, but I just am not a big fan of the back camera. If you guys have this phone, you might know what I mean. I personally think some of the older iPhones have a better camera than this one for some reason, so that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, other than that, I really like this phone. If you're thinking of buying this phone though for the camera, I wouldn't really recommend it. I would recommend getting the 8. All of my friends seem to have the 8 and their camera is so much better than this one, but I know that there is a new iPhone now out called like the XR or something, so that one could be good as well. I don't know what the camera's like on that, but yeah, maybe I should look at that. But anyway, it is still a really great phone. I can't complain. So I thought I would show you guys what my phone case looks like before I get into sharing with you the apps. So my phone case is actually from Mimco. I got it a couple of weeks ago and it just looks like this. It's all black that I really like, because I've had phone cases in the past that get really stained. So I thought going all black is just a really practical idea, and it just feels really sturdy. So this was about $75, but my little sister's boyfriend actually gave me a $50 voucher from Mimco for my birthday. So thank you, Tom, and I used that to put towards this phone. And something that I thought was really cool was that I actually got my name embossed on it for free. So if you're gonna buy an iPhone from Mimco, note that you can get your name embossed or whatever you want for free. So I think that's a really cute little feature. And I thought I would also share with you guys my screensaver, because I'm sure I'll have a few questions about that if I don't share it. So it's just a photo of Brayden and I from Lapland when we went to Europe. Oh, that's not even there. There we go. It's a photo of Brayden and I from when we went to Lapland last year in Europe. I love it. So now let's just get into sharing the apps. On my first page, I've got all of the basic boring ones that come with the iPhone. So you guys would have seen these already. So I'm not going to really talk these through just because I feel like you guys know all about them. So on the next page, this is where things get interesting. I've got a bunch of different folders. So I'm going to talk them through from the bottom to the top, because I think the bottom ones are the most interesting. So the first app that I have at the very bottom is called Lifestyle. This was just the default folder name, but I thought it kind of suited it. So these apps are for like planning and journaling. And the first one I actually only downloaded the other day. My friend Izzy told me about it, and it's called Pep Talk Her. And I just think it's so cool. So pretty much the whole idea of this app is to write down the things that you've been doing really well in your life. So you like write down all of your wins. As I said before, I haven't had this app for very long, so I haven't written down many of my own wins yet, but what I have written down is that I've been going to F45 consistently and I've been vlogging consistently. And honestly, if I hadn't written down those things, I would probably forget those wins and forget how much I've actually accomplished. So that's why I like this app, because you can just write down all of the little things that you've achieved, and then they add up, and then you can look back at your week or your month or your year and be like, wow, I really did achieve a lot. Because I feel like in life we achieve so much and we don't give ourselves enough credit. So it's really cool when you like document them, because you just forget so much of the little wins that you do. And the next one that I have in my lifestyle folder is Grid Diary Classic. And I haven't actually used this one yet. This is another app that I only downloaded the other day, but I really want to start using it. It's funny that I'm talking about it before I even used it myself. But anyway, basically, it's this app that asks you really thought-provoking questions, and you can kind of customize the questions to what you want. So my default questions are all here, as you guys can see, and I can add more by going into here and going edit grids, and I can just press the plus and it adds more questions. And obviously I can press the X to get rid of questions. So they've got all sorts of different things like, what have I done for my family today? And if you actually tap on the question, then you can edit it and like change it to whatever you want. So that's it for my lifestyle folder. I haven't really used those apps too much, but I thought they were really cool and wanted to share them with you guys. So my next folder is called Moon. And I've just been really fascinated by the moon lately. I probably sound like kind of crazy just saying, oh, I love the moon. But I just think it's so interesting, and I've been like listening to a lot of podcasts about astrology and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to get some apps to teach me a little bit more. So I've got one app called the Full Moon app, and it tells me like where we are in our moon cycle. So at the moment it says we're in the warning giver stage, and I don't really know what this means, but generally what I'll do is I'll just Google it and be like, what does the warning giver stage mean for us, and like how does it affect us, and it will tell me how it's going to affect my mood. I don't know if you guys are interested in astrology and all that kind of stuff, but I'm really interested in like how the moon can affect us, and I just think it's super fascinating. The next app that I have in my moon folder is Cana Horoscope, and this is just a horoscope app and gives you forecasts for the day, week, month, or whatever. It just like gives you a prediction of your horoscope. And the last app that I have in my moon folder is called CoStar, and this is kind of like a horoscope app as well. So basically it just predicts things about you based off of your birthday and the time you were born. So I had to give them that information and like say what time I was born. I had to ask my mom and she was like, I think you were born at 9:30 a.m. So every day it gives you different information that they predict about you. So I just find this stuff really interesting, and it's funny seeing like if they're really on point or if they're like really far from the truth, because sometimes I read like horoscopes and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so me, and then sometimes read them I'm like, yeah, that's not me today. So the next folder that I have is called Campaigns, and this just has a bunch of apps that I used to use for sponsorships. To be honest, I haven't actually used any of them, but I like going on there and seeing like what jobs are around, and obviously I don't use them because I've got a manager. But yeah, if you guys are starting out a social media business and are interested in getting some jobs, try using these apps because they're really cool. So the ones that I have are called Vamp, Tribe, and Social Soup, but there are so many like apps and websites out there for influencers these days. My next folder is called Food, and I've got Uber Eats, Menulog, Deliveroo, and HelloFresh in this folder. I'm sure you guys have heard of all of these things, so I don't really need to explain it too much, but I use all of them. Moving on to my next folder, it's called Travel, and I've got Waze in here. I love Waze so much. The other day I was actually doing a shoot for another company and I was running super late, and I used Waze and I got there on time, but if I used any of the other apps I would have been late, so I highly recommend Waze. Then I've got the app TripView Lite, and this just tells me all of the train times in Sydney. You can get a paid version, but I have the free one. Then I've got Maps and Google Maps. I've got the Qantas app. I've got Qantas Entertainment, so you can watch movies when you're on a Qantas flight. Then I've got the apps Trainline and TubeMap, and I use these in the UK. Then I have the app Airbnb, and then Opal Travel. Opal Travel is what I use to top up my Opal card. Then I have the app Timeout, and I love this app so much. My cousin actually introduced it to me when I was over in England, and she's like, use this when you're traveling around Europe to see what's on, what events you can go to, and it's come in so handy. And I actually use it in Sydney all the time as well because I like to know what kind of events are on in Sydney. So as you guys can see, they've got a bunch of different categories like things to do today, things to do this weekend, free things to do, be a tourist, latest restaurant reviews, and you can click on them and it will tell you a bunch of information. So for example, if I click on things to do today, it will tell me like a bunch of things that are going on. So at the moment there's the Sydney Cherry Blossom Festival, and they've got a bunch of suggestions on here. Ooh, Igloos on the Pier sounds really cool. And yeah, you can make it even more specific. So you can go and click on things like restaurants, and it will tell you a bunch of restaurants in your area, and you can like pick any of these little things. And I just find this a really helpful thing, especially if like I'm wanting to do something with like a friend and I'm like, oh, what should we do today? What would be fun? And then like I go in here and I'm like, yes, let's go there. And then the final app that I have in my travel folder is Fuel Check, and this just tells me where the cheapest fuel is near me, which is always great. Moving into my games folder, I have a bunch of different games, and to be honest, I don't really use these. I only use them like if I'm on an airplane or a train and stuff like that. But I love Subway Surf, Sausage Run, Flow Free, Doodle Jump, Stack, and One Line. The other ones I don't really use, to be honest, but oh my gosh, they're really good games. If you want to get some games for your iPhone, I highly recommend them. Leave some comments down below what games you love, because I'm always up for adding new games on my phone. The next folder that I have is called Finance, and the first app that I have in here is called Track My Spend. To be honest, I don't use this because I just like track what I spend by using different debit cards. I've got like a debit card for my leisure, and then I've got a debit card for expenses, so that's how I track it. I don't use that app, but when I was younger, I thought it was a really good way to like see where my money was going. So if you're looking for something like that, that's a cool app. Then I have Checky, and I don't know why that's in this folder because this has got nothing to do with finance, but basically this app just tells you how many times you've checked your phone, but I don't know why it's not working at the moment because it says I've checked my phone 0 times today, and clearly that is wrong because I'm on my phone right now. Then I have the St. George folder because I have some of my bank accounts with St. George. Then I have the wallet app, ING, because most of my bank accounts are with ING. I have PayPal, and I have ComSec because I've looked at like buying some shares of ComSec but haven't actually done it, but I've looked at it. And then finally I have Beamit, and Beamit's a really good app for sending money to your friends. So if you need to transfer the money, try using Beamit because it goes through straight away, and I really like that. The next folder that I have is called Health, and the first app that I have in here is called Calm, and that's just a meditation app. I've got quite a few meditation apps, but to be honest, I don't use Calm or Headspace anymore. I used to use Headspace all the time, but my subscription ran out and I haven't renewed it. So what I've been using lately for meditation is Smiling Mind, and I've been loving this app so much. I've been using it before I go to bed, and it's just been making my sleep so much better. And I've been really trying to make the effort lately to just take 10 minutes out of my day to meditate, and I've been noticing such a difference. So then I have some period related apps. So Clue, Flow, and Cara are all period apps. I really don't need all of them. I should get rid of them. I generally just use Flow the most. Then I have Medicare, which you obviously need to claim money. Then I have Mood Track, and I really like this app for tracking my mood. I haven't been using it in a while, but I went through a stage where I really did use it, and it's really interesting to see how many days you have feeling good and then how many days you have feeling bad, and it's just good to kind of keep track of the patterns and just see like what times of the month you feel better, especially when you're a girl. I find it really interesting to keep track of my mood, so I recommend that. And then the final 2 apps I have in this folder are related to F45, and you guys know that I go to F45, that's the gym that I use. So one of the apps I use to book in classes, and the other one is for the challenge. So if you guys are doing the 8-week challenge, that is the app that you'd have to download. Moving on to my entertainment folder, this one's not that interesting because I'm sure you guys have heard of a lot of these apps, but I just have Stan, Netflix, Spotify, podcasts. I've been loving podcasts lately. I've got Watch. What is Watch? Oh, I think this is just a standard one that comes with your phone as well. Then I have Shazam, Plex, and Audible. The next folder that I have is called Photo Editing, and I love this folder because I love photo editing. So I have Facetune. I'm sure you guys know what Facetune is. Then I have the app Unum, and this is a really cool app that connects to my Instagram and allows me to kind of add in photos and play around with my feed to see what it will look like. The next photo editing app is Lightroom, and this is the app that I use the most. I won't go into too much detail about this, but I'll show you guys how much of a difference it can make. So this is my photo before the edit, and this is it after. So it's a pretty crazy difference. Yeah, I love Lightroom for editing my photos. And then sometimes I use Fiasco Cam as well. I just put like a little filter on this sometimes, but generally I won't even do that. My next app that I use is Google Photos, although I don't really use this that much. Then I've got Storylux, and this is just a really cool app for like making your Instagram stories look cool. I haven't really used this too much yet, but I have had a look at it and tried it out before. So basically they have a bunch of templates on here that you can use. Some of them are free and some of them are paid. Then I've got the app Chromic, and this is really cool because it allows you to put filters on your videos, and I feel like there's not that many apps out there that allow you to do that. Most apps are just for photos, so I really like that. Then I've got Video Crop, which allows you to crop videos, and I know that there's not many apps like that either. The next app that I have is Mega Photo, and I only downloaded this the other day, and I use it in conjunction with Fonto. So basically what I'll do is I'll go into Fonto and type something, and it could be anything, and then I'll put it on like a green background, so it's like a green screen, save the photo, and then I'll go into Mega Photo and import the photo and put one of these like cool little videos on it, and that's how I like make writing like wavy and stuff. I honestly have only used this once, and I did it on an IGTV, but I know a lot of YouTubers use it all the time. But yeah, Fonto is just really cool for like making text for thumbnails and things like that as well. The final app that I have in my photo editing folder is Colortone, and this is another video editing app that allows you to put filters on your videos, and Chelsea actually told me about this and she said that she uses it for her YouTube videos to kind of color correct them. So I think that's really cool. I'm definitely going to start doing that. I'm really sorry, Chelsea, for sharing your little secret. The next folder I have is called Work Stuff, and the first app is YouTube Studio, and this is just an app you should get if you're a YouTuber. It gives you more detailed insights into your analytics and things like that. Then I've got Gmail, and this is the email app that I use. Then I have the app Numbers, and this is what I use to invoice Disney. Then I have Dropbox. Don't really use Dropbox that much, but I used to. Then I have Sheets, Excel. Then I have the app When to Post, and this is an app that connects to your Instagram and just basically tells you the best time to post depending on how your photos have done in the past. So it will look at like when your followers have been most engaged with your photos in the past, and then it will like estimate a good time for you to post your next photo. Then I have Google Calendar, and you guys know that I love Google Calendar just to organize my life. This is my planner. So I usually organize my Google Calendar on my laptop, but then I've got the app that connects to my phone, and it's really good because you can actually set it so it notifies you when you need to do things. So I really like that about it. So that's it for my work folder. Moving on to the social one. I'm sure you guys know all of these apps, so I won't talk them through because you can just see them on the screen. Oh, and I've also got Bumble, and I'm sure a lot of you guys might be like, why do you have Bumble? You have a boyfriend. But I use it for Bumble BFF, which is a way to meet new friends. My final two folders are really boring, to be honest. They're called Extras and Handy. Handy's a little bit more interesting. I've got iScanner in there, which allows me to scan any documents I have, and it makes it really easy just to like send a contract off to someone. Then I have Uber, Tap to Measure, and this is the same as the Measure app as well. And this was really good for when I was just moving into my apartment, because you just go into it and you can measure something from your phone, which is so cool. As you guys can see, I'll click on it and you can like measure it. This isn't a very good example, but I use this all the time when I first moved into my apartment. I actually measured my fridge space with this, and yeah, it's just really handy, which is why it's in the handy folder. Then I have Camera Connect, which is an app that connects to my camera and allows me to get my photos onto my phone. Then I have Google Docs, and this is kind of like Word or Pages, but it just connects to your Google account. And the final app that I have in here is the NRL app, so I can see when certain games are on. Now onto my extras folder. This is just a bunch of apps that just come with the iPhone, and I didn't know where to put them, so I just like put them in an extras folder. But like, that's pretty much it. That's what's on my iPhone. I hope you guys found this video interesting. I've definitely got a few new apps since I last did this video. And let me know if you've got any app recommendations and what I should get down below. But if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really supports my channel. And subscribe if you're new here, as I upload quite a lot. I've been doing like 3 times a week lately, which I've been really proud of myself for doing. So yeah, I would love it if you supported me by subscribing, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!